Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and this is one of the coolest stories I've seen that's XRP related in a long time. And you know what makes it extra special is that this is happening as a result of something bad that happened, which I covered in a video just the other day. In case you hadn't heard, there's been some trouble with XLS 30, the amendment that just got approved and went live. That's the automated market maker. And I'll catch you up to speed on that in case you missed it very briefly. But as a result of this, developers within the XRP ecosystem are going to make a new XRP blockchain. Yes, really. And I'll get into the specifics of what that means, but I'll tell you this at the outset. It's coming as a result of the mishap, let's call it, that occurred with the launch of the automated market maker on the XRP ledger. And so what we're talking about here is basically a blockchain that could be used as a place to test amendments before they go live on the XRP ledger so as to not screw something up. And but to be clear, this isn't just some sort of test net. That's not what this is. This is a live blockchain that will have a real token that you can buy and sell on exchanges that will have a real market cap. And so, you know, it's not technically a guarantee it's going to happen, but I will tell you that it looks like it's already getting traction within the community. I haven't seen anybody that's against this, to be honest with you. I mean, presumably, since we're such a big community, there would be some that are against it. I haven't seen it yet. I'd love to see those arguments because I'm open-minded when it comes to stuff like this. And, you know, I want to hear both sides of an argument before I'm like, yes, I firmly believe so-and-so. That's just how I operate in life. But I will say right off the bat, this seems to make a lot of sense, and I can't think of a downside right off the bat here. But this is proposed by Weetse Wind. Yes, that Weetse Wind, very famous within the XRP community. A guy that got the Zahao XRP sidechain going. It's a separate blockchain that launched recently. That actually happened. That's a real thing that happened. We have a new XRP sidechain as a result of that. He's the one that's pushing for this. So I would hazard a guess right now that this is going to happen. So a lot of work ahead before something like this gets developed and launched. A lot of things to consider, but in terms of like, is this a real thing that is likely to happen? My personal opinion right now is yes, way more likely than not, especially after seeing the feedback from the community. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, just to quickly catch you up in case you hadn't heard, right after the automated market maker was launched, literally the day after, the community had to stop using it because there was a serious chance that some bad stuff could happen. Even if it wasn't probable, there was an actual launch, a chance that this launch product on the XRP ledger could result in actual lost funds. So even if it's unlikely, the fact that that's possible and that it actually went live on the XRP ledger, that's cause for concern, which is why I really appreciate the effort that the community seems to be going, led by Weetse Wind. But here's a post on March 23rd, so that'd be Saturday, with the news breaking in the evening. This is from Ripple, the Ripple X account, official Ripple X account. We've identified a discrepancy in a few AMM pools in which transactions are not executing as intended. Our engineering team is working to resolve the issue alongside community participants. Out of an abundance of caution, it's best not to deposit new funds into AMM pools for now, and those holding LP tokens consider redeeming them. We'll provide updates on this thread as soon as possible. Okay, and so read between the lines there. They're saying, don't use this thing. Get out. If you have any exposure, remove it. Just in case, like, you can read between the lines here, right? They're pretty, it's a very professional message, but you can see what they're getting at. And there is an update on this, and this came Sunday afternoon. They wrote, the issue has been identified. The discrepancy affected how the DEX, decentralized exchange, payment engine routes liquidity through AMM pools and order books in some complex payment path scenarios. We're reviewing the proposed fix now with the community, which will then need to go through the amendment voting process. So, folks, that does mean that once this is finalized, validators have to vote on it, so it has to get the 80% plus one threshold. Well, that's not literally plus 1%, but it has to be over 80%. That's the way that's coded. And then once that happens, that sets a 2-week timer. And then if that threshold is sustained for 2 weeks, then the automated market maker, the new version would go live. So we're weeks out from this. But like I said yesterday, I still think long term, it's going to be fine. I'm not aware of anybody actually being materially harmed by this. It's just kind of a bummer, and it's a little bit of a slop fest, and I get that. But it's working out the kinks, and this is something that is going to increase the long-term viability of XRP and the XRP ledger long-term. So in the end, it's going to be okay. And we get something really cool out of it, it looks. So here's a post Sunday afternoon from Wietse Wind, and this is pretty fantastic. I hope this happens. I'm assuming most of you are aware of who Wietse Wind is, one of the most prolific developers in all of the XRP ecosystem. XRPL Labs, I'm sure, again, like I said, the vast majority of you are familiar at this point. So here's what he said in the midst of all this craziness happening with the launch of the automated market maker. And he posted this on X. A long time ago, actually not that long, but we're in crypto, I tweeted some doubts about a canary network to Hugo from Flare. In hindsight, I realize I was wrong. So let me pause right there. A canary network is a network that is built basically to support a separate blockchain to test stuff. The first canary, and I'll explain more in just a second, but the first canary network ever was Kusama, which I'm pulling up on the screen here. Here you can see it on live CoinWatch. It's an actual live independent blockchain. This is a canary network for Polkadot. Polkadot, a separate blockchain, live. And the whole point here is that rather than just having like a test net where it's a closed system and it's not an actual live blockchain and it's, there's no coin that you can buy and sell in exchanges, rather than just have a test net, which isn't quite the same as, implementing new software in the real world environment, rather than do that, what they did was they took Polkadot, they made a copy of it, they called that copy of it Kusama. So Kusama is a copy of Polkadot. And then what you do with Kusama is if you want to launch something on Polkadot, you launch it on Kusama first. If you want to make a change, you make the change on Kusama first. Then if it works and it's tested in the real world, there's no problems, it's not disastrous, then you implement it on Polkadot, which is where the very serious enterprise grade stuff should be built. That's the thought process behind it. To test it, it's not a test net because it's an actual mainnet that's live. It's a live blockchain. But you test it on that blockchain. If it works, move it to the other one. And it's understood that that's what that is. And stuff can go wrong on Kusama. Like that's the whole plan. That's the whole point. And so Flare actually copied this. And that's what Songbird is. Songbird, and I'll mention, I don't know if I just said it a second ago, but in case I didn't, I'll mention it. Kusama is the world's first canary network. That's where this came from. So the Polkadot people, the developers, they pioneered this. And it worked. The world likes it. It's useful. So as long as Polkadot is useful, Kusama will always be useful as well. So then when Flare is being developed, late into development, Hugo Filion, who's one of the lead guys there developing this, came up with the idea to kind of copy the idea, basically. So they created, it is Flare, it's a copy of Flare, but it's a separate standalone blockchain, and it's called Songbird. And I'm assuming most of you are aware of Flare and Songbird, but I'm just going through this because without this, the significance of this won't be clear if I didn't take a couple minutes here to break this down. And there's always new people jumping into crypto, new people jumping in the XRP community, so I just want to make sure we're all on the same page before getting into the rest of what Wietse Wind said. But it is useful. And so this is actually what we're talking about doing now for the XRP ledger. As you'll see, we're talking about building a new blockchain. It'll be the XRP blockchain, but a copy of it that is a canary network. That would prevent stuff like this from going wrong on the XRP ledger itself. So basically, if this was already in place, what happened the other day with this mistake with the AMM, it wouldn't have happened because it would have happened on a separate blockchain. And people are still able to openly speculate on this stuff. And by the way, I'll mention this too, since I already got these charts up here. Like, these are wildly valuable chains. So Polkadot, it's number 14 in market cap. Its canary blockchain here, Kusama, is 129 in market cap. It's ranked 129 out of over 20,000 coins. That's incredible. Take a look at Flare. Flare's ranked 81 in market cap, pretty impressive on its own, considering that it's only been live for a little bit over a year. Look at Songbird, though. Songbird, 281 market cap. Again, out of over 20,000 coins. So it makes sense that it would be lower in market cap than Flare, and it makes sense that Kusama is lower in market cap than Polkadot. But if there's a canary network for the XRP ledger, where do you think that bitch is going to rank? Presumably higher than Kusama. And it's just kind of interesting because if you've got your speculator cap on right now, you might be thinking, well, how high will that son of a bitch go in price? And I don't know. We're here to make money though, right? So if that happens, there's going to be very strong interest, and I assume right out the gate I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty much instantly in the top 100 by market cap, because it's for the, or if not immediately, very quickly. I would be shocked if it's not. But we'll have an opportunity at a new coin, and I'll definitely get exposure to it for sure if this actually happens, for sure. Because as long as the XRP ledger is useful, the Canary network, of course, will always be useful, because there's always going to be updates and new stuff to test. Of course there will. There'll always be new stuff getting built on the XRP ledger if it's useful. It's cool as hell, right? So here's the rest of what Wietse Wind had to say. The recent finding of a bug in the freshly launched automated market maker on the XRP ledger shows the need for better testing. Testing with real value on a network that isn't mainnet. Testing when an amendment is available, not when it was voted in and went live. Yes, I'm talking a canary network. I'm not the first person to mention Canary Network in the context of the XRP ledger. I've seen other people mention it before. The recent situation made me realize that we have a lot of things in place too, when combined, make this a reality. It needs to be a separate network with a native asset that has some value, so it makes sense for people to use it in real life scenarios and makes sense for users and devs to test and try to exploit. So folks, when he says native asset, he's talking about a brand new cryptocurrency on a brand new blockchain that is a copy of the XRP ledger. So people can try and abuse it and break it. That's the point of the Canary network. It will have real world value. It will be traded on exchanges. This is wild stuff. This is so cool. I never thought something like this might happen. Like the concept, I don't even know that it ever entered my mind. I don't think it did, honestly. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, this is awesome. I hope that this happens. This would be so cool. Anyway, Wietse Wind continues. There needs to be an upside to testing, just like what happened now on mainnet with AMM. It needs not to reset and stay full history, just like mainnet. It needs wallet support by tools, platforms, and open access, just like mainnet. Most importantly, it needs to be a network from the community, for the community. From and for the projects, the developers, the ecosystem, the traders, the holders, for everyone. So everyone has an equal opportunity to participate in Canary activities. The coming days, I'll have some chats with other ecosystem participants, with our compliance officer and legal, with other projects, etc., to organize thoughts, challenges, possibilities, and work towards a proposal that will make sense for the entire ecosystem in the broadest sense. Don't call me, I'll call you. Please save your thoughts. I'll make sure there will be a place where ideas, suggestions, thoughts, doubts, etc. can be shared. Then to organize that with a bunch of us, because this cannot be and will not just be my own plan. It will be a plan by, from, and for the entire tech developer XRP Ledger user community. To be continued, smiley face. That's wild, folks. This is cool, is it not? So a brand new XRP blockchain, because it's a copy of it. It's just a copy of the XRP blockchain. Call it something else. Slap a coin on it. Well, of course it would be there because there's already a coin in the XRP ledger. Call it something else. Get it on exchanges and just run with it. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be super, super interesting. And so again, although there's technically no guarantee this is going to happen, Wietse Wind, like I was alluding to at the outset of the video here, he doesn't just say stuff for the sake of it. He thinks stuff through. He thinks stuff through before he would put a big post out like this. When he said he was going to launch a sidechain because he wasn't happy that you don't have layer 1 smart contract functionality on the XRP ledger, like, he wasn't kidding around. It didn't take long for that thing to actually get launched. He's like, yeah, we're doing this, and then he did it with the help of a bunch of other people too. But Zahao is live. It's a sidechain of the XRP ledger. If he says that he's going to push for this, And it's, again, it seems like everybody agrees this is awesome. Why would this not happen? So I think it is going to happen. That's my guess. Technically not guaranteed, but I expect this thing to get built. And I don't know what the timeline will be, but given that you're basically copying an existing code, the XRP ledger, and like in terms of the development side of this, I don't imagine there's much to do there. You don't really have to develop a lot. It's more like, because I don't think, like, unless you have to actually change something I'm just unaware of because I'm not a developer. But outside of that, it's just you copy it and then you make copies of like any types of tool sets or anything to work in conjunction with it. And from there, it's just a matter of if you want it to be, true live testing, you got to get it on cryptocurrency exchanges. But given that it's a canary network for the XRP ledger, I don't imagine that would be terribly difficult. So we'll see what happens here. And then in a separate post, he added two things. Wheat said, number one, the Canary network needs real stablecoins. It needs EUR, USD, USDC, etc. I'll work with GateHub to make this happen. And number two, no, this can't be Zahao, but I think Zahao and Canary are a perfect match. So there you go. I hope it happens. Not a guarantee, but I'm optimistic. I'll keep you posted as things develop here, folks. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.